Okay, welcome. I apologize for this video being late, but I had some computer programs last night when I tried to make it, and it took me most of the night getting it all fixed. So today I'm going to be walking through some common Git workflows for working in Git with a team. There's two main ideas that I'm going to share, and hopefully this helps with working with your teams and staying organized and not wasting too much time with a bunch of Git stuff and more time on JavaScript. So here what you're seeing is they look the same, right? They pretty much are, because on this side, well, both sides, I have this WDD 330 example repo. But on this left side, this is my personal account. And on the right side is my BYU Idaho account. So this is Brother Nelson here. And then this other one is my personal one, okay? And I'm going to be showing you this in these two separate windows so that you can kind of, pretend like these are two people on the same team. Excuse me. And so similarly, I'm going to be working in these two windows. And again, this right one will be the Brother Nelson, and this one over here will be my personal account. So let's start. So right now I don't have anything in here but this README. Okay. So let's go ahead and just change the README and pretend like user A, my personal account, is going to make a change. Okay. And he also is the owner of this repository. Okay. And I guess I should say this is way number one, and way number one is when you have a project and you're working on that same project with a team. So if you come in here to collaborators, let me do this real quick. Sorry. 53. Okay. Okay. And so hopefully this is the way that everybody in this class is doing things. Maybe you're doing it the other way that I'm going to show later, but hopefully this is the way. It's a little bit easier, I think, and a little bit faster and stuff. So in this case, Brent Nelson, that's me. I own this repository, and I added Brother Nelson, another user, to the repository. Okay, so we're a team. Brent Nelson and Brother Nelson. Okay, and so this is the first example that I'm going to show. So, so I'm going to, like I was showing, I'm going to come in here and make a change. And in this case, I'm just going to be editing this README file. Pretend like this could be any sort of JavaScript, okay? But in here, I'm going to, let's just add an introduction. Welcome to WDD 330. Hope you have a nice day. Okay, so I made my changes. I'm done with that, okay? And now I want to get I want to get Brother Nelson, this guy over here, to look at him and improve him, etc. Okay, and this is kind of what is the norm in when you're working with teams. So I'm going to look at my changes. I'm going to add them, make sure that everything's there that I want. Okay, that looks good. So I'm going to accept this change, and then I'm going to say. I'm going to commit and say add introduction. Now, because I own this repository, I can just go and do git push origin main and just push it. But usually when you're working with a team, you don't want to push directly to main, right? You want to get approval. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my changes. I'm going to do a git checkout branch, and I'm going to do something. In this class, we do like we use initials or something, but it can be anything. I'm going to just do I'm going to do my initials, EBN, and then / add introduction, and this can be anything. And there's a naming structure that we use in this course. That's fine. It can be anything. Okay, and I'm going to check that branch out. Okay, and let's just look to make sure my change is there. Okay, add introduction. I did a git log. Add introduction is there. Okay, so now I want to push this. So if I do git push origin EBN add introduction. Okay, so if I was pushing to main, I would do git push origin main. But in this case, I want to push this branch up. Okay, so I've created a separate branch for getting approved. Okay, for getting it's a PR. When I push that, it's going to say create a pull request for this branch on GitHub. Okay, so if I click on this, well, let me just copy it so that it opens in the right place. Copy, okay, and then I come back over here, and then I'm going to go to that link here. Okay, and now I'm opening a pull request. Okay, again, this is a pull request that I want Brother Nelson over here to review. Okay, and so I can look down here and see, okay, there's the change. I'm just adding this, okay, and I can say, you know, I can add some other comments. I added an introduction. Hope you like it. Okay, you create the pull request. Okay, then it's gonna, I mean, you can set up GitHub to do cool stuff, but in this case, we don't do it, and in this class, we really don't do it, but, you know, you can have it run tests, you can, you know, but, and in a lot of cases, you might want to set up a rule to require one or more reviewers before merging. That's what this is saying. I'm not going to do that here. I could just click on this, but we want our code to be clean, especially on a team. We want other people to look at it so that they know what's going on with it, and also so if they see any potential bugs or whatever, they can let us know, okay? So, this side, E. Brent Nelson is now done. So now if I come over here, and I'm now acting as Brother Nelson, if I go to pull request, you know, maybe E. Brent Nelson slacks Brother Nelson and says, hey, can you check out my pull request? Then Brother Nelson will come over here and say, oh, okay, here's the pull request. And he can look at it by saying, this is what he sees over here, and he looks up, it's the same, looks over here and says, files changed, okay? Now I'm looking at this. All the red lines are things that were removed, and the green lines are things that were added, okay? And so as Brother Nelson, I'm over here, and I'm thinking, okay, this looks great. So I come up here to review changes, and I click approve, and usually something that you do +1 or it looks good to me or something, +1, this is great, okay, and you submit that, and then over here, as you saw, it shows Brother Nelson, this looks great, and then as E. Brent Nelson, I can say, okay, he approved it, and then it's up to me to click merge the pull request, okay. It says, who do you want to do it as? You know, if you have multiple users, I think I have a couple in here. But then I confirm the merge, and I can delete the branch just to keep things clean, okay? So now, if we come over here into the code and look at things, that's merged, and that's in there. Okay, before it wasn't, because we hadn't merged it yet. Okay, so that's the way that we can do things when we're working as a team and we're all collaborators on a project. Okay, we all have access to the project. Okay, we create a branch with our changes, we push that branch up, and then it's going to tell us that we can create a pull request by visiting this link. We create that pull request, we send the pull request link to our team and say, hey, have a look at this, and then once you get a couple people look at it, you can merge it. Okay, now and then let's just go through that again. I'm just going to do it really quick for Brother Nelson. Okay, now Brother Nelson comes in here, and I'm just gonna start going. Let's make some changes. Okay. Now I want to create a pull request and do the same thing, okay? So I made some changes. So I'm going to do git add. Yep, that's what I want to do. And then I want to git push. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same sort of thing. I'm going to do a git checkout branch. And I'm going to do bro Nelson add my story. I don't know. Okay. Okay, so now I'm in the branch, and I could check to see which branch I'm at. I don't have the fancy thing over here. Okay, but let me come over here. Just make sure I'm on main, so that we don't get confused over there. Okay. And let's just go ahead and push this branch. Origin. And then bro, I don't have anything. No, my story cave. Okay, and that pushed up there. Okay, grab this so it opens the right place. And then come over here. Okay, I'm acting as Brother Nelson. I'm going to show you something. You probably have already maybe suspected something. Okay. Okay, so first off, I didn't commit anything. Okay, so I better commit something. Okay, it's staged for commitment, but I haven't committed anything. So git commit add my story. It wants me to do this. Let me just do that real quick. I forgot to do that. BYU, and then the same for name. You only have to do this once, and you all have probably already done it, maybe even in a previous course, but I set this virtual machine up so I can do this. Brother Nelson. Okay. So now let's do that. Okay. Okay, it's good. Git log, add my story, it's there. Okay. Git push. Let's find that again. And we're gonna have to. Okay. And then if we come back over here, it's not gonna tell us about that link already because it already created. So now we do this. Okay. We do this, create the pull request. Okay. Now, a couple things. Now I could take this link, copy it, say, hey, Brent, have a look at this. So now I'm going to have a look at it. Okay, and just before we do that, I just want to show you. The My Story part is not here, okay? So now, if I'm coming here, I could say, okay, I'm gonna review this. Okay, it looks good, but the introduction stuff wasn't there, so that's, he missed. Brother Nelson missed a step here, but it's okay. I'm gonna say approve, but please rebase to get my recent changes. Okay. So do that. Okay, Brother Nelson says, oh, okay, it's approved. So, but I can't merge it here, right? Okay. Now, there's a couple of things you can do to resolve conflicts. You can do it in the UI, but I'm not going to. I'm going to do it over here, okay? So, one thing that you should always do, which I didn't do over here, is before I merge, I created this branch, but what I want to do is I want to get rebase, and I want to rebase the main branch onto my branch. Because if you look, get log, you're going to see there's the initial commit and add my story. There's no introduction thing that Brent over here added. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to do a get rebase origin main. Okay. And now nope, I did that wrong. Oops. So I think I went to main branch. Branch. Yeah, I did that wrong. So get checkout. Here's a little tip. If you just do this, a dash, it'll take you to your last. Nope. That didn't work because I think I changed branches in a weird way because I had a typo. Okay, so I'm back here. Get log. Okay, you see that stuff. Okay, first off, I need to do get pull, right? Because when I looked on main up here, I only see the initial commit. I should see that other commit by Brent. Okay, so let's do get pull. Okay, and it's going to show me. Let's do get checkout main, get pull. Okay, you can say your branch is behind by 2 commits. Okay, get pull. Okay, now if we do get log, I'm going to see the introduction and then when the merge happened. Okay, now let's get checkout, and I'm back into the Brother Nelson one. Get log, and I only have these 2. Okay, I need that add introduction to be in here for there not to be weird conflicts and stuff. So let's do get rebase origin / main. That's what I forgot last time. So I switched the way that I did it over up here was essentially I'm switching to main because there was no / So now if I do this, okay, now it says it conflicted. Okay, so let's do get status. Okay, and we can see that, hey, we're rebasing and both were modified. Okay, so now I need to come in here and figure out those conflicts. Now this is more an advanced thing. Hopefully you guys aren't running into a lot of conflicts, but I wanted to kind of show what happened if this, if you try to do this without polling first, right? So what Brother Nelson should have done here before he did any work, before he changed that README, was do a get poll, and then he would have seen the introduction, and then he could have added the My Story to the bottom of that. So now if we go in here, we're going to see Okay, this was what's in head, so this is what's there, and then this is what I added. So it's fine, keep it all. So we'll just remove this stuff, okay, and then we just need to add that, and then we need to do, and this is a little bit more advanced, but just continue that rebase. Okay, and then this is fine. Okay, now if we do git log, now we have on top is my story, because that should be the most recent. Then we have the pull request and the changes. Okay, so now we just need to git push this branch again so that we can merge it. Okay, so git push origin and then bro Nelson add my story. Okay, now it's going to say it's not going to happen. It's not going to work because I've essentially changed the history of the branch. It used to go initial commit to add my story. Now there's some things in between, so I'm going to have to do a force push. And this, again, this is a lot of headache that I could have avoided if I would have just done a git on the main branch, git pull rebase before doing anything. Okay, and then okay, so now if I come over here, now you can see the changes are approved and there's no more conflict with the branch because you see that the introduction is there. So now I can merge that, and now it's good. Okay, so now if Brent was coming in here to work, I'm like, oh yeah, let's just do some stuff. So let's, instead of just starting to make changes, we want to do a git pull rebase, and then if I go in there and start messing with things, I have all the changes ready. So it's a good habit to get those first thing. Okay. Okay. So that's kind of the first way, right? So we always want to pull and rebase at the beginning, then make our changes, then create a branch and push a branch, create a pull request with that link that should show up, or you can make pull requests through here too. Like once you create a branch, there'll be a little banner here that says you want to create a new pull request, and you can click on that, or you can come here and click on new pull request, and then choose your branch. So like I didn't delete this one, so you can do that, but because it's already in there, it's already been merged, it's not going to have anything. So you can do all that, whatever, and then get some approvals. Once they approved, merge it. Okay, and that's a very common pattern that teams will use. Okay, now let's look at this a different way. So we have this repository, and then let's pretend that Brother Nelson is not part of the team. Okay, he's an outside guy who is he found a bug in this repository or something, and he's like, I want to contribute to it to help him out, right? And so what he did was he went and he forked the eBrent Nelson /WDD 330 example repository, and now it belongs to him. So he has his own copy of this, and if you look at it, you'll see that it doesn't have the latest. Okay, so let's go ahead and check this out. Okay, and I'm not super familiar with this because I don't do things this way usually. I've contributed to a few projects, but not a lot. So this might be a little bit more clunky, but okay. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to do WDD 330 example fork. Oops. Okay, so now I have this fork. Okay. And then let's just look at some things. So there should be a config in here. Okay. And it says the origin, localhost. I'm not really, so somewhere it should say that it's, you would think where the upstream is, because what the first thing we want to do is we want to get those changes, right? So if we get log, we don't have what this guy has over here. Okay, so if we're working for a fork with a fork, we need to, before we do anything, we need to get this. So let's just see how we do that. Like I said, I don't do this very often, so I feel like it's changes into forked repo. There we go. So let's see what these people say. Merge upstream master. That's what I was looking for. Okay, but we need to add the upstream. Okay. So I guess when you're doing this, you need to set it up. So you need to come over here and just grab this. And we're going to do a get remote add upstream. So we're in fork get remote add upstream. Okay, and then I'm sure I can do the rest from that. Okay, so now if we do get merge, instead of origin, upstream, no, let's do get rebase upstream. Hopefully this is going to encourage you to do it the other way and just add your teammates to a project and do it that way, because if you're working off of forks and stuff, it's a little bit trickier. But how do we get upstream? Get whole upstream? Okay. Okay, so you can see the branches from upstream. Okay, and then so then if we do get rebase upstream main, okay, ta-da, now I have all my changes. Okay, so then, and so that's essentially the same as polling, right? Otherwise we get weird conflicts and all that stuff. So we definitely, when we're doing forking, we want to add that upstream to the original thing that we forked from, or another fork or whatever, and then instead of origin everywhere, we're going to do upstream when we do polls. Okay, then we're going to create our own thing. Okay, so let's come in here and we're going to change something, and let's call it cooking this comes from a fork, okay? Okay, and then let's just add that. Cooking comes from a fork. And then let's push it. Now we can't push it to the upstream because we're not on that team, we don't own it. It might work in this case because Brother Nelson is actually on his team, but in most cases, if I want to go make a change to like a Facebook JavaScript library, I'm not going to be able to just push upstream. So I'm going to commit, make fork changes. Okay, and then I'm going to git push origin main. Okay, because that's what I'm on right now. I'm on my own fork. I'm pushing origin main. Okay, now you'll notice I didn't create any merge requests or anything. I didn't create a branch or anything like that because essentially this fork is just a giant branch, right? I mean, it's a complete trunk of this stuff. So git log. Okay, I made the fork change. I posted this straight there. Okay, so now if I come over here and okay, all of that's here. It's not in this main one that I forked from. Okay, but if I want to get that, it says this branch is one commit ahead of Brent Nelson's main. Okay, that's over here. So if I click on this, or if I click on contribute, I can open a pull request. Okay, and then this is the same as it used to be over here, except for you'll see that now we have, instead of just the branch names, we have the actual fork, and it's going to compare. And I could have had a lot more changes here. But then I'm going to create this pull request. Okay, and then it's just the same, except for, again, we have a repository name ahead of those branch names instead of just branch name. And so then if I come over here, I'm going to see that, make fork changes by Brother Nelson, and it's the same thing. I go and review them. Okay. The difference here is usually Brother Nelson here can't merge them because he's not in the team, right? So in this case, he's in the team, so he can. But it would just say, wait for an administrator or something to merge, or you can't merge. And so Brent over here, who owns this repository, would have to click merge and confirm. And then you look at the code of the Brent repository, and he's got the cooking. And then if we look at my fork, it has everything. And so they match at this point, but Brent can go and start changing things, and Brother Nelson can go and start changing things. And they just need to make sure that before they start making a lot of changes that they rebase and pull, right? Get those changes, add to them, rather than make a bunch of changes and get into like a weird situation like we did at the beginning there, where we had conflicts and stuff. If you ever do get in a weird situation like that and you aren't confident in figuring out how to do that, reach out either to your team, who maybe there's some people who are familiar with it, or to me, and I can help you work through those things, just so that you don't lose anything. Okay, and with that, I just one last thing. So, if you've ever looked, let's say that you've committed something. Okay, so let me just show you. This is a little bit more advanced, but it can be useful sometimes. So if we come in here and do a git log, you'll see that we have a number of commits. Let me just pull this because we need the last one here. The last couple, okay. And then let's just say that we accidentally go backwards somehow. So I'm just gonna, you never know, like it can happen, right? You can be rebasing, you could be doing something, revert, going back, doing something, and something happens, okay? So we're just gonna, oh, maybe that's too far. Okay, we're just gonna drop some of these, okay? I don't recommend it, but let's just say I accidentally push D instead of S or something, okay? Now if I come in here, they're gone. Like, where's the cooking and the my story? Like, oh no, like it's gone. Now, first of all, they're not necessarily gone because they're still over here, right? But let's say I didn't push them yet. Okay, the same thing will work. I committed it, but then somehow I dropped it and I didn't push it yet. Okay, this is something we can do. We can do git ref log, okay, and we can see these things. Okay. Now this is a little bit tricky and it reads a little bit weird and stuff, but and actually this might not be terribly good because I haven't pushed, but let's just look at this change and see what happens. So if we do a git show, and I always do -w, it means to not show white space, and then just look at this. Okay, it says add introduction. Okay, that doesn't really help me. Let's just go down here. Okay, merge pull request, make changes to fork. Okay, that looks good. So let's do git checkout. Or actually, let's just do this. Let's do a git cherry pick. And again, this is a little bit more advanced, but I just want to show that you can restore things that you think you lost. Is a merge. So let's do this. No merges given. I think I need to do it right here, maybe. What? Okay. I don't do this very often, as you can see. Nope. Okay. Anyway, what we want to do is we can do. Let's just check it out. Okay. Git log. Okay. Now you can see, I've checked out all of these git SHAs. These little IDs are just branches, essentially, right? And so I checked out this one, and it has all my stuff here. And so if I really needed to, you can see it's all here, and I can go and do a git show, and I can see those changes, okay? They're not lost, okay? So if I git checkout main, and just do git pull, I'll get those changes back. But there's ways, essentially what I'm trying to say is there's ways to get your code back that you think you've lost. Now, that's only if you've committed it, okay? If you haven't committed it and you just delete a file, there's no way to get that back. If you commit it and then delete it and then push it, there's a way to get that back, okay? So if you run into issues like that and you don't want to redo all the work that you did, let me know. I can help, okay? Okay, that's all. That's all I'm going to say about Git for today. Hopefully that helps. Hopefully that shows some more advanced usages and stuff. Hopefully it gives you some patterns that you can pattern match off of to for the way that you merge and review code and stuff. And yeah, so thanks for watching.